And crime is becoming a big problem again, and we're going to talk about it here. Obviously, I can't do these as much as I used to. Like I used to do them every day, and honestly, I just can't. Um, but our quality of life in New York State continues to decline. And I'm going to start off with this a short clip. This was at Smith Haven Mall. Yeah, Smith Haven Mall around, I would say, 10 o'clock Saturday morning. We have a person strung out right over here. Um, and it's really just I would never imagine seeing this at Smith Haven Mall. It's right by the bus stop, but still. I mean, we're going to take a brief look at this, and you'll see what I mean. This person is just lying there, and they're just strung out. They're just strung out, just lying there. Um, I don't know. They might have overdosed on drugs or whatever. There was a car that came by and probably called the police. And then in Mineola today, there was a report. I didn't see it myself, but there was a report of a person, a disturbed person, lying on a bench right in front of the CVS here. A woman that was basically naked, lying down or topless or whatever, right on this bench right here. There was a topless woman just lying down. So again, right there, out in the open. So again, this is sort of like what we're dealing with in this state with all our quality of life issues. Let's get to the crime because we have a lot of it to deal with. And Channel 12, well, they have been covering some of it. They did cover this, but this is because it happened. Shooting in Glen Cove, 2 minutes and 41 seconds. They did spend time on it, and they're saying that it was an isolated incident. So there was a party we're going to read the article here. There was a party. So it says that security, they basically have this mansion here, and they rent them out for parties and stuff. So police tell News 12 when security was removing people from the pool party at the mansion with nearly 200 people, gunfire rang out near the lobby, resulting in two party guests and a security guard being shot. Man. Police said there was no permit issued from City Hall for the pool party, which was required. Lawyers would not answer about the permit. Whitehead said that the suspected shooter attempted to gain access to the event and was turned away at the door. She did not say how the suspect managed to get back, pointing to the ongoing investigation by the police. So you have this mansion going on, and we'll do everything to make sure the residents of Glen Cove. This is in the northern part of Glen Cove, and there will not be another permit issued for these pool parties. So if we go and we look at some of the information here, you'll see here that, and they've been covering this, and I'll give them credit for covering this. It happened at this mansion over here, and it had this this was all based from New York City. So the problems in New York City, apparently, this is probably geared to thugs, and it's at say 718. So that's what it geared to right there, right? And we're gonna actually go over to this here. Let's see if Patch. Our Daily Voice has it about the shooting. Let's see. Yes, 3 shot after fight breaks out. So we're going to read this article from the Daily Voice here. 3 shot after fight breaks out at an event at Long Island Hotel. So now it's saying it's a hotel. So I don't know. But this is the mansion here in Glen Cove. Beautiful building. And yet you have thugs renting it out. So the incident took place in Nassau County in Glen Cove around 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, July 10th. This was 200 Delsaurus Lane. So take a look at this area in Glen Cove. It's very exclusive. It's a very wealthy part of Glen Cove. So this is Delsaurus Lane right here. Oh, here it is, the mansion in Glen Cove. So right here, it's a beautiful piece of property. It's a big piece of property, but they have these parties going on, and a lot of them attract an unsavory element to the area, and a lot of them are hip-hop parties and, whatnot. I could imagine the kind of crowd that was coming here. So they feel that they could get away with this. All right. So going back to the article here. At the time of the shooting, the mansion was hosting a pool party, which was promoted online as the Big Fendi Celebrity Birthday Pool Party and featured various DJs, said Lieutenant John Nagel of the Glen Cove Police. An investigation determined the disturbance inside the mansion resulted in one of the security guards working the event, as well as 2 partygoers being shot. The victims were treated at local hospitals for non-life-threatening injuries. The shooting occurred inside the front entrance of the mansion, and the shooter is still on the loose. Again, very disturbing this would happen. I give Channel 12 credit. They have been covering this, fortunately. They have been covering this, and I'm glad that they have been covering it, because this is not acceptable. You can't have this stuff going on. That is for sure. But that is really the only crime they really wound up spending a lot of time on. The rest was all geared to the South Shore. Of course, they did spend plenty of time on this. There was Cow Meadow Park, because, again, that was on the South Shore, so it got 2 minutes and 29 seconds. MS-13 Gang Associates in 25 years. So that got plenty of time. And if we go and we look at the rest of this other stuff here you'll see this also got plenty of time. Fatal Island Park hit and run, 2 minutes and 39 seconds. So, again, that's the South Shore, so it gets plenty of coverage. But what about the person that was stabbed to death in Hempstead? Well, they apparently don't give much time on that. So here we go. This only gets 21 seconds here, this story. See, that's what I mean about favoritism. How come this only gets 20 seconds, while the Island Park story gets 2 minutes and 30 seconds? I mean, it's so obvious what's going on. Both men are of Hispanic origin, so but why is it, when it happens on the South Shore, it's news story, but when it happens in the middle of the island, it's forgotten about. That's what annoys me. And it says it was terrible, victim of widow and fatal Island Park hit and run. So we're going to talk about this hit and run first here. And there have been hit and runs in the middle of the island that don't get this amount of coverage, but we all know why that is. So police say a man was fatally struck by a hit and run driver in Island Park Monday night. The incident happened at the intersection of Long Beach Road and Marina Place around 9 p.m. News 12 has learned that the victim has been identified as Jordanium Emmanuel Chavez, a 34-year-old father of a 3-year-old girl. Chavez also left behind a stepson, Eric, and widow, Laura. Both Eric and Laura were beside themselves with grief as they spoke to News 12 cameras. Witnesses told Laura that the driver was driving recklessly. Laura had a message for the driver. I just want the person who hit and run to turn themselves in. He had left. My daughter is 3 years old. He's not going to know her. She's not going to know him growing up. And please turn yourself in. Please, I'm begging you. He didn't deserve this. So, News 12 says, the widow tells News 12 that Chavez was running out to his car from the house he lived in to grab something after moving out to the new home he had just purchased. So he just bought a home in Island Park. This is pretty tragic, I got to say. Island Park's a little more affordable. It's one of those more affordable areas on the South Shore. And this does get a news story because it happened on the South Shore, but it is horrible nonetheless. Very horrible. Really sad. But so is this story. Yet, this only gets 20 seconds. Police say 20-year-old Cesar Alvarez Morales was stabbed multiple times walking near Brown and Kennedy Avenues, 5:30 p.m. Friday. So this happened in broad daylight in Hempstead, and somehow that doesn't get a news story. But because it happens on it's like to Channel 12. The South Shore is like their area. If it happens anywhere else, they're not really going to cover it. But if it happens on the South Shore, it's going to get covered. It's just unbelievable. So this happened 5:30, and we're going to look at some of these where this happened. Brown and Kennedy Avenues here in Hempstead. So let's go and take a look at this. And it took them forever to cover it too, by the way. So it just goes to show you, depending on where you live, is going to depend on whether you're going to get noticed by Channel 12 or not. So Brown and Kennedy Avenue, Hempstead. So let's go take a look at this and see where this was. So this is actually not that far from the 35 route, right? Oh, no, this is not that far from this is between the 35 and the 4041. It goes down here. So, this is where it happened, right here. Broad daylight, 5:30, and they can't even bother to send a reporter. This is where it happened, right here. She doesn't even look that bad. Well, this is from 2017. This neighborhood's probably gotten a lot worse since then. But, again, they don't care because it's not on the South Shore, so they're not going to cover it. Same thing. It's all about the South Shore, It's really all about the South Shore. And yesterday's Newsday actually was talking about the sharks. That's right, they were talking about sharks, believe it or not. So here you go. Man struck, critically injured in Comac. So this only gets 31 seconds. So isn't that interesting? All right, so that only gets 31 seconds. But when somebody's hit on the South Shore, it gets coverage. I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is. It's just unbelievable. You got the new normal, and all this other nonsense. The new normal. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's so obvious what that gears to. I mean, it's so obvious what this gears to. It's so obvious. They did cover this because they're eliminating some express trains on the Port Washington branch. They did cover that, and I understand why they, covered that. Again, there's some people with money there, so it's going to get noticed. But if it's the middle of the island, get it. Babylon. So, there you go. It's just, let's go to the other crimes going on because we have more that they didn't talk about. Let's see what we got here. We got more here. Yeah, here we go. Man apprehended after fleeing Long Island traffic stop and jumping into the water. So a 60-year-old Long Island man was charged after authorities said he attempted to flee a traffic stop by driving away and jumping into a body of water. This incident happened in Freeport at 10:20 p.m. on Monday, July 11th. NCPD said Freeport police officers saw a 2007 Nissan drive through a red light at the intersection of Atlantic Avenue and South Main Street. They made a traffic stop at the intersection of Bedell Street and Atlantic Avenue where the driver, identified as Lloyd Berger of Copag, had struck a fence. He ignored officers' commands and as they approached the vehicle, police had to use an electronic control device. Then he put his vehicle in reverse and drove south on Bedell Street. He then turned onto East Bedell Street and jumped into the water. Police said Freeport and Nassau County police officers and Marine Boat 6 were able to arrest him after he swam to the location at the back of a location on Buffalo Avenue. He's charged with third-degree criminal possession of stolen property and third-degree unauthorized use of a vehicle. And his arraignment was scheduled for today. And he had been previously arrested. Oh, no, they said no. He's been arrested here, and he's charged with 5 counts of fourth-degree criminal possession of stolen property, 2 counts of unauthorized use of a vehicle, and 7th-degree criminal possession of a controlled substance. So Channel 12 did not even cover that. They did not even cover that. No, they did not even cover that. There's a lot they just didn't cover, as usual. So, again, it's all geared to the South Shore. It's all geared to a certain demographic. I'm glad they covered that. But I mean, if it happened in the middle of the island, if this happened in Mineola, if this man lived in Mineola and it happened in Mineola, would they have covered it? I bet they wouldn't have. It's very sad, nonetheless. But they think news only happens on the South Shore. That's what annoys me. So let's go to the. Let's go. We got some more stuff going on here. Let's go to Laura Uli because we have breaking news here from Laura Uli that there has been a robbery at a Carvel in Massapequa. So this is at 5596 Merrick Road. Armed robbery. Suspect displayed a knife and took off with cash and a donation jar. The suspect jumped over the counter while patrons, including children, were around. A few bystanders knocked the suspect down. Police arrested the suspect, and now he's complaining of pain. Find this 5596 Merrick Road, Massapequa. Let's see. Oh, this isn't in the heart of the enclave. It's in East Massapequa. Yeah, see, this is the bad part of Massapequa. It's East Massapequa, so this is where it happened, right over here. So this is not, this is actually in the bad part of Massapequa. There's actually a bad part of Massapequa, believe it or not. And this is it right here. Oh, look, there's a homeless person right there. Do you see what I mean? Yep. There you go. So that's where this is where it happened. So again, I mean, literally right on cue, I go here and there. Look, this is not a good, nice part of this. This is the part of Massapequa that goes to Amityville Schools. It has been redlined, and because it's not part of the Massapequa School District, it is an undesirable area. And there was a Best Market, which is no longer a Best Market. It is something else now. But there you go. That's considered. It's really East Massapequa. So there. That's why it wasn't coming up when I searched. All right. So let's go and look at this. So we had 2 people pistol whipped in Forest Hills. More crime. Forest Hills. This happened at the subway station. This happened in the subway. Forest Hills subway. Armed robbery. They got pistol whipped. Suspect took off on foot. All right. All right, we got this here too. Crime in Fresh Meadows. Shooting incident, Fresh Meadows. Around 4 p.m. on April 27th, this was a while ago, 3 teens were shot at 188th and 64th Avenue. All right? One entire stretch reported car break-ins on Union Turnpike. Police are on Union Turnpike and Springfield Boulevard and the service road of the Grand Central Parkway, reporting over 20 vehicles were broken into overnight. So this is the crime in Queens going on. Robbery spree. Police are advising all to stay indoors. That's not true. But you want it when you read all these. 3 subjects, males, black, 16 to 20, are on a robbery spree. 1 person was robbed by 181st Street and Horace Harding Expressway. Next person robbed on 73rd Avenue and 188th Street. Another person robbed by Fresh Meadows Lane and 69th Avenue. Another person was robbed by Horace Harding Expressway and 188th Street. Multiple attempts also reported in the same vicinity. And local sources say the teens are living at a local hotel. So there you go. More homeless again. Again, there was a bad accident in Floral Park. So this is another thing that also didn't get any news coverage. There was a fight at Nassau Coliseum. Heavy police Nassau Coliseum reporting a large fight broke out among groups. Multiple injuries. There was a fair, and then all hell broke loose. So they used fists, basically a fist fight. And then there was a small fire in Mineola at 133. It was a very small fire. Luckily, the Mineola Fire Department got it out pretty quick. Yeah. And now we go to the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is... So there's a guy flipping out there. Angry, cursing people out. Another person who shouldn't be on the streets. So this is what subway riders have to deal with. Tired of it. We're tired of these people being out on the streets. They need to be in institutions and in jail. But nobody cares. Nobody does anything about it. We're just expected to suffer. Yeah, life is good for a certain demographic. They're all getting off the train. And everybody looks this. It's funny how everybody looks the same. That's why I took this picture. I'm like, everybody is just looking and dressed the exact same way. You don't see this on any other line. This is at Merrick, all right? You don't see this at any other line, that everybody is just dressed the same way. Literally. They're all white finance professionals. They're all the same, you know? And they get the best for their own kind, you know? While the rest of us, well, we got to deal with all the problems, like this in Mineola, yes. Yeah, the bush is now a garbage like I said, is a trash bin now. Let's put our empty drinks in the bushes here in Mineola. That's a nice look, right? Or if you're in New Hyde Park, you get to deal with... they actually had to put this on the sign in front of the New Hyde Park Village Hall. Reminder, no parking on your front lawn. Yeah, they had to put that there. Again, just to remind you, because, again, apparently people are doing that, and that's something that doesn't happen in an enclave, but it will happen in areas where that are being redlined because they're putting so many people in one house, they just park their cars on one lawn, right? Meanwhile, it's all peachy keen in Rockville Center. Again, only the best for these people here. You know, they get the best of everything, all right? They escape most of this, all right? We've got to deal with all the problems, all right, just because. And again, this is what Channel 12 gears to. I actually caught this ad on Channel 12 the other day. Public.com. They have a lot of stocks. See, a lot of commercials for stocks and finance because that's who they gear to. That's who they geared to. It's all geared to them, to these people. You know, the rest of us are just forgotten. You know, this also got a big story here. Lynbrook. All right. This got 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Yes, finally they knocked down. That's funny how we have like 2 burned out buildings in Mineola that can't get knocked down. This building was an eyesore. It was actually in front of the bus stop here, but this building here was knocked down. It's the old mangrove feather factory, and has been knocked down here. That's what you see here in this picture here at Lynbrook that I took the other day. That's that which was left of the building there. But it's going to be luxury apartments, all right? And only a few affordable units in there, very few affordable units. So it says the new $95 million 201 unit complex will only have 10% of the units made into affordable housing. Only 10%. That's it. So business owners say it's good, but of course there's some people that are against it. So they interviewed the mayor here, Alan Beach, who is definitely a little certain demographic, of course. I mean, there isn't one person of color here, which is very interesting. That's Alan Beach. This is the guy who, it says Gregory Beach. Doesn't it say Mayor Alan Beach? Let's see. Alan Beach. So, I don't know. I have him as Gregory Beach here. But this guy is the guy who intimidated Phil Eng to get that nice new train station that they got. Meanwhile, Freeport Station is decrepit, and nobody's fixing that. But so while they're playing golf in Lynbrook there, this is our reality, unfortunately. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. And again, it's hard for me to do these. It really is. And it was just upsetting when I saw this I saw this. It's just very upsetting. And, you know, nobody really cares about this homeless problem. Nobody really wants to do anything about it. You know, it's just horrible, you know. And it's spreading all across the middle of the island. We bear the brunt of this, while the South Shore escapes most of it. So I guess I'll leave it at this. Yes, sharks. This was the front cover of Newsday yesterday. Sharks. That's right. Unbelievable. That's their priority. All the media is just fixated on all the things that gear to a certain demographic. Well, the rest of us are just forgotten, and I'm going to try to keep talking about it. I know I get bullied over it, but like I said, we have to talk about it because we are losing our state. We are losing New York. We are losing Long Island to this corruption and favoritism and crime. So thank you for watching, and have a good night.